what to do. We talk about courting a lot. Some people like to think that courting and dating are the same thing. Yeah, courting and dating are not the same thing. So I just want to let that be known right now. But specifically in regards to courting, because it should just be about courting. Dating, that's sort of new. That should not even be part of the conversation, but it is. But we're not going to go there today. We're not going to go there today. So, but I do want to talk about something that isn't talked about a lot out in these spaces. And mainly it's just, when does courting actually take place? So, because you hear a lot of people make references to courting, but they talk about it from the standpoint of dating. So it makes you wonder, like, well, is there a context of when you actually start courting, you know, given that it parallels with dating? Well, there actually is, because real courting does not parallel with dating. There's a certain point that, courting takes place. So I'll give y'all pretty much my perspective on it. I guess you can call it my opinion, but I'll also even, I guess, give you all some textbook examples of what I mean too. So just in case, one wants to know sources, I guess. So we'll go there. And it's been a long day. So might hear me having to sip a little bit, kind of get my voice right while we're talking, but I want to get this out the way for that individual that wants to know, when does courting actually take place? See, the way it works, the way it usually should work, the way it used to work back in the day was, well, actually, back in the day, courting started right away because those two people back in the day knew that they were serious with each other. It was almost like love at first sight, or just more or less like they knew they could grow to know with each other, not get to know each other like we say nowadays. Back then, it was grow to know. So courting always started early on, like initially with people back in the day, because you didn't have all these cell phones and things like that and the internet. You just had each other, and you only had each other to communicate with a lot of times, especially if it was through family. So, uh, let's see, you got someone new in the building, Hector. Hello, Hector. Good to see you for the first time. Uh, so, fast forward to now, how do we apply context from back in the days uh, up till today? Well, like I said, back then, those people knew what they wanted, like when they saw each other, and there was this sense of that automatic connection, even if they had to grow to know each other. You started building right away. Nowadays, you can still do that, but it just takes a little more time because we're blocked by all this internet and all this these cell phones and stuff. So I think upon just initially talking to each other, y'all just trying to get all that out the way, just talking, seeing kind of where you two come from, like, because you probably came from one side of the country or one side of the world, and, vice versa with the other person, and y'all just happen to meet up at a set point. So, y'all just like, okay, well, here we go. Let's talk about that. And then as the days go by, we go from there. But like I said, this is not where you start dating each other. Y'all really start to be like, well, are you worth courting? Like not dating, courting. So more thinking about a long term, serious type of relationship. I see Unique in the building. Good to see you tonight. Uh, so it's all about building. That's what courting is all about. Whereas when you're dating, you're just more or less playing, really. When you're courting, you're building. You're really building. So the way when courting actually takes place is when so there's really not a set date for that. So let's get that out the way too. Like there isn't a set time and a set date. So like I said, back in the days, people usually got right into it right away because, like I said, it wasn't all this internet and all this stuff that we have now. But there was that sort of connection, and sort of like you might have met that person at the bus stop or something, and you wanted to see that person again, and then every time y'all got around each other, it just got more surreal. Like Back in the days, you could have met each other at the skating rink. Same thing, like, yo, I don't have the internet, I don't have the phone, but next time I see that person, I want to really, like, yo, I want to talk to you. Like, and then next time maybe be like, how can I call you? How can I reach you? How can I see you again? And then you realize, man, over time, I mean, I really can't see myself living without you. And like people nowadays, that's like kind of weird to people now. Like, huh? Y'all just fell in love like that? Like it was a different time back then. People who weren't caught up by all this internet. They were ready to court. They were ready to be long term. So simply put, courting is supporting. If you want to look at it that way, courting is equal to supporting. So like you two were willing to support each other. Like, automatically the gal was like, where do you work or whatever, or he told her where he works, and she was like, well, how about some time I bring some food, like I can cook something for you whenever you go to work. Or he'll be like, what do you do for school? Like, you need to help you with your homework. So that's courting. That's courting means supporting. So for those who didn't know, that's really what it means, from my standpoint. You don't get that out of dating. When you date somebody, I ain't talking about supporting each other when it comes to dating. Y'all just trying to ooh, ah, if that's even possible after the meal, after whatever that set date y'all had, that set date y'all had, and hanging out, whatever y'all want to call it. I ain't talking about supporting each other on the first day, But that's what I'm saying. Courting is for serious people. Dating is not for people that's trying to be serious. Literally, people say I'll date, but I ain't trying to be serious. So there you go. In that statement alone. So I could like really wrap this up now, but we'll just continue to dig more because there's more I want to get out of what I'm even telling y'all. So yeah, like simply put, I gotta, for those who wanted to know, you got encyclopedias. I like the source more because it just gets right to the point, And there's a lot to look up with courting. I ain't trying to hit y'all with all these little books. I mean, I know this from experience. I'm just kind of adding more to what I'm saying right now. So simply put, like court is to one definition of it. Well, one synonym of it, because this is the source. It says make up, pursue, spark, sweetheart, to woo, and all this can simply come from how you two start to support each other off the bat, like, because, think about it, like the icebreaker more or less is like, hey, like, um, you start to talk about each other's life. And another thing, it has relative words. Court does. Means to allure, to attract, to captivate, to charm. So all this could be done when y'all simply just talking about how y'all two could actually support each other, how y'all could really be there for each other. Y'all start to have similar interests. Y'all start to really gel and start to be like, yo, like, dang, where you been all my life? Like, like that's part of courting. So a lot of times we misconstrue that amongst dating. No, don't do that. Don't waste each other's time like that. When y'all are hanging out like that, don't just hang out. Like if that's serious, yeah, keep it 100. Like make that be something y'all actually work on, because it ain't that easy trying to find another person out here. We tend to think people are replaceable and expendable, or whatever you want to call it, like dispensable. Like we think that, and it's like, no, we live in a world where, even having a child is a miracle. So I look at it no different than the person that you meet. What were the odds that you were going to meet this person and let alone have a child with that person? So let's just get back to just you meeting that particular person. Your life could have went a totally different way. You never met that person as a result, and then where would the trajectory? Where was the trajectory of your life going to be going from that point on? Like we don't think about things like this. Like what would life be like had I not met you? Like, so I think that's why it's so toxic when people do try to find themselves wanting to live without somebody, if you will. And it's like, well, why did you go out your way to meet that person? But see, that's what I'm saying. Dating has made it to where courting is not even something to take serious or to even treat as separate, because people don't take each other's serious. People are quick to separate. Like it's unfortunate, but that's kind of where we're at. And so yeah, courting starts when y'all start talking about supporting, when y'all start talking about building. But yeah, it goes back to that. It goes back to like, how can we look out for each other? physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. I really don't like to say the word financially. I think finances is tied up into emotion. Some people will say, no, it's tied into logic. I'm like, no, it's tied into emotion. The finances are, because you're getting out here to bust your tail for people. If you don't have a business, you have a job. And so you're getting out here working for who? For what? What drives you to do that? So there's an emotion that drives you to do those things. So yeah, it goes back to emotion. So what a person does for you, that support, that comes from emotion. So here's my raggedy dollar based on emotion. Like, I gave to someone that was on the street from my emotions. It wasn't a logical thing that the person was on the street and I wanted to give them $1. No, that's some people actually think like that though. That's pretty sick and sad. But no, like, yo, I'm in their shoes, or I really feel for them. I wish I had a pair of shoes to give them. This the least I can do. If I can't even give them a pair of shoes, I'm gonna at least give them a couple of dollars. Like, that's from my emotion. So courting is based on emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, courting is based on emotion. Dating is actually based on logical. So y'all didn't hear nobody tell y'all before until tonight. So that's the other thing I don't like about dating. Dating is like more or less sort of so logical, because we got all this dating market, right? Got the dating market, all this dating market. Like, people bug me up with this dating market, that whether the guy said or the gal said, it's all about this dating market. So that's logical. That's not emotional. So uh, the courting starts, like I said, when y'all start talking about supporting each other, where y'all start getting more emotional with each other, where y'all start to actually open up and talk to each other and start to really like be there for each other. Like when that song says, I cry, you cry, we cry together. That's part of courting. You don't get that out of dating. Someone is just trying to get something out of that date, literally. So you don't get that. Like, courting is very intimate. It's very, very intimate, whereas dating is imitation. Keep that in mind. Yes, courting is intimate, whereas dating is an imitation. And I guess you can guess what dating is an imitation of. Yeah, it's an imitation of courting. Come on now. Dating is an imitation of courting. It's not the real deal. It might have somewhat of a certain taste, but it's very generic. Dating is very generic from my standpoint. I've never really done dating, and this is long before I knew about people talking about game and all this other manosphere talk. I was always like this. I've never done dates. Like, no, we're going to court. If I like you, I'm going to court. You like me, we're going to court. We're going to talk about supporting each other. We're going to talk about each other's future. We're going to help each other with each other's past, present, give each other presents in the present. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna do stuff like that because we're supporting each other. So that's when courting actually starts. So I'm gonna just keep kind of throwing little gestures out there so y'all get an idea. Like, if y'all haven't been talking about how to support each other, y'all not courting each other. Okay, simple as that. If one person is not supporting the other person or vice versa, you're not fully in a courtship. Simple as that. You're not in a courtship. You're still in another situationship. Simple as that. You know, uh, so one thing I'm gonna throw y'all a nice little curveball here. Uh, a sidewinder missile. I got on a Top Gun shirt, so yeah, straight up Top Gun with it, throwing y'all these sidewinder missiles. So I'm gonna hit y'all up with one. So what's another word that ties in with courting? Courteous. It might not be pronounced the same as courting, but courteous has the word court in the word. Courteous has the word court in the word. So think about what courting really should be about, what supporting should be about. There, I threw another sidewinder missile at y'all. It's about being courteous with each other. Like, if we're courting each other, we're going to be very courteous. Like, you're going to be treating that person with the utmost respect more than anybody else you've been around and encountered. So that's serious. Like, there shouldn't really be all this arguing and fussing and fighting with someone that you're courting. Okay, there's certain ways y'all delegate and deal with things, even during tough times. Like, I might have a lot of people I might cuss out on a regular basis, but the person that I'm courting, you know, I'm not doing that with them, and it does not change upon y'all becoming husband and wife. And really, if you think about it, To me, the idea of husband and wife actually starts when y'all start courting. It really starts then. It doesn't start when one gets on a knee and proposes. It starts when y'all actually start courting. This idea of uh, just being courteous, so yeah, there's different levels to this. I always, I never could get like when guys be like when they be in the public with the children and the guy be like, "Hey, moms, want y'all to chill out," or uh, the wife should be like, Daddy says y'all need to be quiet. Like, I never understood that, but now I understand it. That's because they're still going through that courting. Like, they just got that much utmost respect for each other. They just sometimes refer to each other as mom and dad now. Hey, to each their own. You don't want to refer to who you with as mom and dad. That's on y'all. But I'm just saying, like, some people are at that level of courting to where they have ways of how they talk to each other, amongst each other, about each other because of that respect factor. That I'm not going to be a certain way with this person that I'm supporting, that I'm courting, the person that's supporting me and courting me. Like there's a certain etiquette that I'm gonna have with this person. So, because like I said, being courteous implies the word court in it, courting. Now, the word court, like going to court, that's totally different. We ain't talking about that. They want you to be courteous to the judge, courteous to someone that's judging you. But you think about it, dating does that, doesn't it? How you have to be courteous to someone that's judging you? How you flip that around? Yeah, someone answer that question for me, please let me know. Yeah, but getting more to courteous because I just kind of want to talk more on this because it's part of courting, being courteous. Uh, just the courtesy is granted, provided, or performed as a courteous by way of courtesy, like being an ambassador. So it's just being on your best behavior to the best of your ability with the person that you're supporting. Like we're like this with elderly people. Like we're like this with people that we hold to a high esteem. How come it can't be that way with someone that we want to grow to know with, someone that we call ourselves loving? How come we don't treat each other in that sense of royalty, the royal court of things? Like you know, do this and that. We just got all these other hangups that we give the low vibrational people the most respect. We treat them like they're just everything to us, even though we don't mean nothing to them, if you will. Like we treat them with the utmost respect. It's sad. Like, why are you supporting someone that is not supporting you? Okay, like they give you the bare minimum. Well, you give them the honey bear maximum. How about that? Yeah. But yeah, courtesy, like courteous behavior. I'm reading out the dictionary now, so let you see the other book, right? Just so y'all see. But yeah, it's just courteous behavior, courteous act, expression, general allowance. Uh, Now this sort of goes into other uh, avenues, but it does tie back in with how you support low vibrational people, like this act of being courteous, because it says here general allowance despite facts. So like you still allow people to do certain things, and you are still courteous towards that person that is not courteous with you, despite the facts that yeah, they don't take you seriously. Like, but you're still showing them courtesy. You're still courting them. You're still supporting them, even though they're not really intending on courting you, supporting you, being there for you. They're really much aborting you every single time. And every time they come back, you give them the red carpet treatment. Like it's just crazy how that goes. Like, and so I feel, to be honest, like a lot of people do that. They apply that aspect of old school, how you immediately start supporting someone. Uh, but we do this for low vibrational people. So a lot of, you know, nothing has changed. It's just that the way we do things have changed, but nothing has changed. Like a lot of the old school love that we want, we still got it out there. We just are like that with low vibrational people. That's what it is, really, at the end of the day. Uh, you said, unique. You don't be courteous to someone judging you in regards to court or dating. It does take someone being courageous to deal with open judgment and possible rejection when a person barely knows you. Oh yeah, and so that's the thing. Like you know, that's really what the dating is like. Courting is not like that. It's not supposed to be like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, this idea of paralleling dating and courting, that's what I get tired of. You know, that's what a lot of people have done. And courting is on a higher realm, higher esteem, to where like you won't have to worry about judgments, when you're courting somebody, because they're more or less they are they're gelling with you. They're not judging you. They're gelling with you. So they have already taken account of all of the imperfections about you, and they still want to support you. So like that right there should say a lot. But on the receiving end, that might not be fully appreciated. Knowing that person is, yeah, they're there for you, supporting you, not even judging you, and you don't have appreciation for them. And you always talk about that person barely knows you, but you're not really trying to know them. And yeah, you make it to where that person barely knows you, yet they're still going out the way to support you. I find that sad. Uh, so yeah, being more thoughtful as to when you start courting somebody, I think that's important too. So, like I said earlier, just in regards to when courting actually starts, is like I said, it's not really a set time for that, but in due time, y'all start really supporting each other more. That's simply what it is, and when courting actually starts, it's when y'all start really supporting each other, looking out for each other, being more open with each other, just showing more love. Love is an action. Love is a verb. It's not a word. It's actions. I got love to give. I'm gonna show you love. Like not just simply I love you. Like I want to continue to love you. Like I'd rather hear that. Don't tell me that you love me. Tell me how much you want to continue to love me. Tell me how much love you have to show me. Like I want to hear that. Like that. That right there shows me, oh, this person is really courting me. Like that right there is that's where we at with it in regards to when courting actually starts. And we don't see a lot of that. You don't see that in dating. Like we talk all day about like how this ain't done and how that ain't done, but you're talking on the realm of dating. You're not talking on the realm of true courting. So I think once you got that mindset of dating and you start thinking about courting, then you just be like, well, this person ain't trying to take me serious. They haven't been supporting me, so forget it. What date? You get mad because it's just been like, oh, you meet up at a coffee shop. That's all it should have. Hey, they say that's all it should have been was meeting someone at a coffee shop. I say that's all it should have never been. If that person ain't trying to support you, like you've been supporting them, I'm not supporting your espresso you want to get at Starbucks. Like I'm not supporting that either. Like that part you said, unique. Too many vampires out here that want to suck you dry out of energy and resources when it comes to dating. Exactly. But remember, unique courting. But yeah, I see what you mean if you wanted to apply dating in the context of what you said too, because that's what happens with dates. Dates, that's what actually happens. You gonna meet your energy vampires in regards to dating. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. If you want to go down that dating line, you still want to date, you're gonna keep running into energy vampires. When you say courting, that's like putting that cross up. You had that cross out, and the vampire is gonna run because they're like, oh gosh, I don't have the energy for that. I have the energy to suck someone dry when it comes to a date, but when courting shows up, I don't have what it takes to try to drain a person because I know that's going to require something from me. Dating doesn't necessarily require something from me because I'm not obligated to do something for that person, even though they did something for me. Like, and that's literally how it is. Like, especially now in the midst of Me Too, but just in the sense of general of how both genders interact, no one's obligated to do anything. And even I guess you could say with courting, that could be to a certain extent, but more or less, not that there's a line being drawn, but it's being more defined what we have here. Like you tell a person. That's really how you establish if you're just dating somebody or you're just courting somebody. You let it be known like this ain't a date. If you're just with me for a date and I know that I can expect you to do anything back for me, then I'm not the person you need to talk to because I want more than just a date. I want more than just that. And then they'll have to realize I got to reciprocate to you more than just that. I see Kels in the building. What's good, Kels? Salute to you. Salute to you as well. Uh, let's see what Unique said. You want to know a person will continue to try and stand the test of time with their love through the action of sticking it through with you when it comes to courting. Facts. That's it. That's the whole purpose of courting. And that never stops. It's a lifelong thing. Courting. Yes. Courting, there should, you said also Unique. In courting, there shouldn't be energy vampires because you have discernment, judgment, and intuition. Yep. And then you also said Unique. Dating is negative and courting is positive. There you go, bingo. And that's kind of been my whole point of I think that's why I just continue to put out content and I want to highlight things that haven't been truly highlighted. You see it written down, you hear it talked about, but it hasn't been highlighted on page. Like literally like a book. Everybody reading out the same book, right? You see a lot of stuff written down, but nothing's really highlighted. Nothing's really broken down. Like y'all just skimming over. This is what most content out here is like. It's like this. People talk about all these topics, right? All these topics: hypergamy, dating, dual mating strategy, select, non-select, wife material, what one has to bring to the table. It's just this. That's what it is. All this, no one's highlighting nothing, and it just gets old after so long. And so what you start to do is skim through all these different channels, trying to see if someone actually knows what they're talking about. And I'm not trying to brag to say that I know what I'm talking about. I might know a little something though. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Oh yeah, Kale said big facts. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm just saying like we got to get back to like we think the solution is passport bros, and I'm not against passport bros. I'm gonna let that be known. I'm not against Manosphere. I'm not against all the game guys, but those ain't necessarily solutions. Those are alternatives. Those are not solutions. Okay. So nothing's absolute. Things are relative. So passport bros is not absolute. Game is not absolute. Manosphere is not absolute. MGTOW is not absolute. Even with amongst chicks, they often to like the pink pill, all this other rhetoric as far as woman empowerment. Those are not absolutes. Those are relatives. Those are things that some people can relate to, and they're out here. I'm not saying what I'm even talking about is absolute, but you might relate to what I'm about. And I hope that one can strongly relate to what I'm about because I feel like this. My type of content is one of the only few contents out here that is relative. Whereas everybody else making their content absolute. Like this is absolutely what you should be trying to know. This is absolutely the way you need to go. So not to digress, but I'm just saying like my point with this topic here tonight was to really just hit home that first of all, just summarize, dating and courting are not the same. Okay. So please don't put in that same reference. You wonder why you got certain things happening the way you've had it happen. You said, Kels, I've been around for a while. That's what's up. That's what's up. That hey, I'm flattered. It's an honor, that you came this way. You've been around for a while, so that really says a lot to me as well. Like, so I'm definitely it's definitely an honor. I appreciate that. So I try to be very authentic over here. So I don't do a lot of graphics and stuff for my videos. I spit. I let it be known when I talk. I talk. Yeah. So you said unique. circular arguments, skimming over important factors about topics in regards to love and relationships and marriages. Facts. That's all it's been on here, and that's all it really is ever going to be. But at least, you have some more fine-tuned books out there that really break things down. And there's a book out there called Reality XM. Hope y'all check that book out. Nah, I ain't got an actual book out yet called Reality XM. I'm just saying. But yeah, courting and dating are not the same. Okay, and when courting actually starts, is when y'all two start supporting each other. You know, so even in regards to time, y'all start spending more time together. Uh, that could factor in part of what dating started as, and it evolved into something else to where it became more of wasting one's time because you put all your time into somebody, you want that to grow. But a lot of times with dating, you waste a lot of that time. See, starting out, why am I tying this in with courting now as far as dating, then eventually courting? Well, yeah, starting out, like I said, y'all, how y'all met up. Boom, y'all met up how y'all met up, especially back in the day. But you want to find a quote date to see that person again. Okay? And then, y'all talk a little bit more. Maybe y'all don't even get more into supporting each other yet, but you just like, how's your day been? Kind of like how we start off with these text messages too when we meet somebody online or offline, you get their number, right? And you call them a few days later and y'all just slowly start to talk, have a good day, hope I heard from you tomorrow, stuff like that, right? Not really getting that serious yet. But eventually there's gonna come a time where it's gonna be like, well, hey, I really would like to, talk to you more, spend a little bit more time with you and really see where this goes. That's when you can start talking about, okay, we can see if we want to court each other then. We can see if we can work on actually supporting each other somehow. Let it be known from day one. Like, like I said, this involves emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. Even though I hate to say the word financially, just add that to emotionally because finances are a part of emotion because it's based on what you put into it, it's what you get out of it. Like that's part of your emotion because we all fighting for something better than just working at a 9 to 5. But for those who continue to work that way, you work to not work so hard, right? You try to figure out how to work smart, not hard, because the reason why you're working that way is emotional based on what your family, you got children, you might be working towards something bigger in your life. So that's why you're doing this job. Like you got a vision you got for yourself, right? Or you just starting out in life, right? And you just, maybe you just got done being incarcerated and you're just trying to get back on your feet. Well, that's the emotion there, right? Because you like, I don't want to be in that situation again. Like, that's not merely logic. Logic brings you back to how you got in that situation, but emotion drives you not to want to get back in that situation, right? So, uh, you want to, what better to have a person in your life supporting you and not trying to get back into certain situations? And yeah, we all fall, so it's not to say it's going to be perfect, but they're still supporting you. Like, like it gets no better than that. So, like I said, tie finances into emotion. Like you in pain. Uh, you know, y'all help each other keep the lights on. Y'all help each other with getting around town. Y'all help each other make sure y'all eat. You help each other go to the gym. Okay, that requires a gym membership, right? Like stuff like that. And it gets better as time goes on with stuff like that. But you know, that's when you start to deviate into other topics, uh, more mainstream topics per se, as far as the juice is not worth the squeeze type of conversations. But I'm not going there. I'm talking about people that are serious about being together. You ain't thinking about the games one plays. You ain't thinking about the plight of the system. You ain't thinking about your passport that just got in the mail. I'm talking to people that are on a certain wave that I'm on right now. And I call that wave the Xenosphere, Zen, Xenosphere. So feminine and masculine balance, Zen, no sphere. Okay. You said unique. There are no absolutes to anything, but also at the same time, practice makes precision, but it should be with someone you love till death do you part. And that goes for courting. Just don't give up. Exactly. Yeah, because true love never dies and it never gives up on the other person. And courting is the greatest example of that. Because people be like, "You guys lost that fire," like y'all probably went to therapy or something. And I hate it when people make it be based on something sexual, like, "Oh, we used to like be active. We was always getting it on, like every other night we were getting it on." And then the therapist probably look back at y'all and be like, "When was the last time you two were intimate?" Well, we were in the bed. That's not being intimate. When was the last time you two were actually intimate? Like, have y'all ever felt like making sure y'all two are supportive of each other? That's part of intimacy. Most people can't answer that question because most people did not meet each other based on supporting each other. They met each other based on lust, not love. So as time went on and all that lust went away, because that's what that fire they're talking about, that lust went away. And they realized they had no love there. So they realized they really didn't know how to support each other. And they realized they probably couldn't court each other. So what happens? That's when they realize, ah, hey, there's nothing here, I'm giving up because we had nothing here in the first place. I had nothing to give to you in the first place. We both were taken from each other. Literally, it was on the shelf. I took it until nothing else was left on the shelf. That's how we do with each other. We literally we consume each other. We're what they could call this, like romantic cannibalism. Like I'm gonna have to. I was thinking about something in regards to romanticism, but I'm gonna come back to that. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that. You said, Kels, I was in an 18-year relationship with some of these dudes, still talking about how to approach women. LOL. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna read that again because it's the way you read it. I probably misread it, but that's very important what you brought up, Kels. You said, I was in an 18-year relationship. Some of these dudes still talking about how to approach a woman. LOL. Yeah, I mean that's something for young guys. Now I get it, there might be some older guys who just never knew. And I come from that space as far as showing guys. Like I have patience with that, right? Like I'm not shaming no guy that just didn't know better. But for guys that know better, you gotta let people know better. But don't like there's just a way you do it. And when you're talking about how to approach a woman to a guy that doesn't know better, what better do you know? Because, a guy that's at a certain age who just didn't know how to approach a woman, you know, you just more or less really just start talking to him about what a woman really is. And that'll actually help him with his approach more than anything. Like, that's really it. Because most guys, like, as far as knowing what to approach, that's what the main issue is. Not really how to approach, but what to approach. Like you have to know what you're approaching. Because one of the aspects of courting actually is, as I read earlier, to pursue, not to chase. To pursue. Because I understand it's not about chasing; it's about pursuing, right? So you got to know what to pursue before you actually pursue it. If you're in the gun range, you got to know what you're shooting at before you start shooting it. Okay. So, but I totally get what you mean, Kels. Totally. You said unique. Everything when it comes to courting is an emotional and energetic investment when it comes to someone you love. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And then you said also unique. Two energy vampires coming together in dating cause they are one in the same spirit and people wanted to take and still got nothing but waste in regards to time. Yeah, exactly. So and it's contagious. It's very contagious because Uh, I say it's contagious from even a sense of where even if you're not the vampire, but you get around a vampire, that vampire is so vampiristic that they know what would require of them based on what you've done for them. They just stay away from you because they know that they're going to have to reciprocate what you've given them. Or, ladies, if you reciprocate onto a man, he's going to have to continue to give onto you based on your reciprocation. And so guys like, I did this. Hey, that's all I had to do to get your mama. Like dudes talk like that. Like, but it's like, yo, you got her, but what you gonna do with her now? You know, some guys are just what caught up. Yeah, some guys are just what caught up in the chase. Talking about you don't chase women, but you caught up in the chase. You got her, and that's all you did was get her, and there's nothing else you did with her. Whereas when you pursue something, it's like a wolf. Well, I'm pursuing because I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat that. It's gonna fill me up, and I'm gonna want some more of it, and I'm gonna pursue it again. I'm gonna keep pursuing for that reason. There's a purpose for it. So yeah, chase has no purpose. Pursuing has every purpose. You know what I'm saying? So ladies, yeah, man, I ain't saying he gonna be thirsty for you, but he'll be hungry for you, and you'll see the difference, right? A guy that's thirsty, like yo, he gonna get his quench and be done. See, keep that in mind, ladies. It ain't always that a guy is thirsty and you don't quench his thirst. Sometimes you quench his thirst and he be good. He'll just be like, yeah, I was thirsty, girl. Oh, okay. He be like this. After he got one off, he like, and that's all he has for you, ladies. That's all he has. So avoid the thirsty guys. You want the hungry guy. Because the hungry guy, he gonna be hungry. He gonna want some more. Thirsty guy, he just done. Yeah. But I ain't gonna make this one too long. I didn't realize how long this one was gonna be. So I think I'm gonna shut this video down. And I hope that somebody liked this one a lot. And make sure that y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe to yours truly. Thanks a million.